What happens when the largest group on a server falls? Where do their members go? Where does their wealth go? Good question. Here on the second oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft, MINETEXAS, something interesting happened. It was early June of 2020 when the incident happened. The Empire was the biggest group on the server and was on a mission to start a war with any group that opposed them. But on June 4th, Cloutsend, a master of PvP and a high-ranking member of Empire, got doxxed by Wiz2G9, a player infamous for his negative effects on players. In response to this, Clout was enraged, and he placed a $200 bounty on a dox on Only Solid, the player that was thought at first to have doxed Clout. After the Discord admin Don Remington got involved, Clout was banned from the server. This led to the fall of Empire. I would very much recommend watching the video the leader of Empire, War, did on this event so you can fully understand how this all happened. This is when the whole left wing of the Empire, including Cloutsend and UnoRiv, collapsed. This is where our story starts. The ashes of Empire fed the flames to two major groups, Legion and Terminal. The groups created at this time were NTC by Bubbleneck, Froze by Jotaro is Dead, and Foxhouse by Foxbox808. Let's first start with Legion. Legion was created to be a member-based group, akin to the likes of Empire. Legion was created by Bill Cosby, Comic Nebula, N64 Fan, Foxbox808, Hidehunt, Prophetic Pasta, Super Saiyan 2400, and Big Heast. Terminal, on the other hand, was made to be a big trading group and create a new economy after Empire fell. Terminal's members included Squishy Umbreon, Thepin, Cassius, Squalid, Someone in Space, Dark Luigi, Rambam 2016, and I'm Probably High. Our story begins with the creation of two bases, Cyrodiil, made by Legion, and the Citadel, created by Terminal.
The original two people were me and Thepin, then Hidehunt arrived, Cassius never arrived, then Sage arrived, and in the end, like the final week, Squalid arrived.
Even from the beginning, Squishy and Thepin always had courts to Cyrodiil. This was because they were meant to be Legion members, but then they created Terminal and the gap between us widened. These bases were worked on throughout late June and early July, and the group started to prosper during this time. Legion was working hard to try and figure out how to make a new colony system, while Terminal was trying to create a new economy to stabilize the trade of goods. I was inactive throughout most of June, although late June to early July, I came back and became more active onto the server. During this time, me, Bill, and Comic started to stir up a little friendship with Thiepin, even going as far as to let him into some of our private projects. We would even do funny things like play Wizard 101 with him, and in return, he even helped me gear some alts at spawn to have a little fun. All in all, we started to trust Thiepin more and more. During this time, many builds at both bases were created, and it was a time of great prosperity for both groups, although Legion has suffered the loss of Foxbox 808. Legion had also established one province, headed by one of our new recruits, Ethan Whale. At this time, both groups were neutral, and it never seemed like a war would start between them. Although Terminal had been a bit more aggressive at spawn and even started to attack Legion members quite a bit. This would later turn into full-scale fights, even having more than 8 people in them. These fights occurred throughout most of July and were a harbinger of what was to come. After seeing a screenshot Squishy posted about wiping out Legion, we knew something was up. On the day of July 22nd, me, Comic, and Bill logged in and couldn't get back to the base. It said our beds were destroyed. Later that day, Saiyan came on to confirm the worst. The base was completely destroyed. When Squishy heard the news, he tried to pin the grief on Hydehunt, a founding member of Terminal. We even VC'd with him, and he told us it wasn't him, but we knew he was lying. 5 days after the grief, Squishy released a video on his YouTube channel of him griefing the base. But let me explain this incident for a bit. Squishy wasn't in the wrong to grief this base, after all. He had the cords to it from the beginning. If you look at it from his perspective, he just wanted to start some server drama by griefing this base. This statement is further reinforced when you look at Squishy as a person. Squishy's a player that's always stirring up server drama with different things that he's doing. You remember when, those times when, wasn't it like leading up to, before you blew up our base, you got your members to kind of start attacking us a bit more? Because I remember...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we didn't even notice that we didn't even know that we were so quote unquote, at war. Cause...
No, I didn't want to see it as that. I just wanted some server drama.
Yeah, I guess until, we easied those Terminal members.
And griefing the space would be the perfect way to start up something interesting. Although for us, we were still in shock after this happened. It let everyone at the base down, and after a suspicious message from Thiepin, seemed like our first colony had also been found by them. So we did what any person in this situation would do. We invited Brown Zombie to go with us and grief Gnome home. We were all distraught over this loss. Morale was low, and we were thinking of what or where to go next. We decided to build a new base with just me, Bill, Comic, and now Ethan Whale, the leader of our first province. We called this base Dawnstar. But then something interesting happened. A couple days after this, on August 5th, Squishy gave us cords to the Citadel. This was unexpected, but he explained how this was because he felt bad for griefing our base. Bill traveled to the Citadel alone and griefed it. Why do you give cords to us? Give us Citadel cords?
Because I was under the impression that the cords were already public. Brown Zombie, Solid told me Brown Zombie had them, and some other people, like the Republic people, had them, and they didn't like me at that time. So I gave Bill cords because, I mean, anything to not have Brown Zombie grief it. And I kind of felt bad for Bill because, I mean, I did blow up all of his progress.
The score was 1-1, and both groups took a major hit. At first we started fighting Terminal at spawn, even becoming allies with groups such as Republic or Froge. But later we had ceased our fighting at spawn and became more like allies in the end, befriending players such as I'm Probably High and Rabam 2016, even coming together to fight old players at spawn. This time had started a new time of great prosperity. Though this prosperity wasn't just from wealth or power, but because all the groups kind of acted more like friends with each other. There's no dominating group at this time. Legion even started to establish more colonies and try to get more members into their group. Although Terminal was slowly being overtaken by NTC in terms of the economy. Despite this, both groups were still prospering after their loss. Also around this time, Legion had started talking to Uno and other big names in Empire. After getting some messages from War, we knew something was being planned. We made some Empire Eagles at spawn just to make things look a little suspicious. This was because as Dawnstar started to become a bigger and better base, something did eventually come at the end of August. On August 22nd, War made a video defending Empire and accusing Don Remington of his faults. With Empire coming back, Legion merged into Empire. All Legion members became Empire members, and all Legion provinces became Empire colonies. War even promoted me, Bill, and Comic to the rank of Core in Empire. I started to work tirelessly on projects to make Empire the best group it could possibly be. Me, Bill, and Ethan Whale befriended a member of Empire, Spectrapulse, and we even decided to invite him to our base. And since he just got to the base, no doubt the hackers found the cores that were in his DMs. It was time to get rid of the final Legion base, so no one else could. Now, let's talk about what happened after these events. After Legion merged with Empire, Terminal started slowly fading away. And after Squishy left and Thepin quit the server, it was finally dead. Now, let's talk about what happened to the players from each group. Starting with Legion. Foxbox808 slowly left the server after the incident with Don Remington. Hidehunt slowly left the server with Fox. Prophetic Pasta left the server after Fox left, but came back after Empire came back and now works for Empire. Super Saiyan became inactive on the server after Cyrodiil got grief. Big Heast was never able to get to Cyrodiil. Comic Nebula became inactive after Empire came back. Bill Cosby is still a core member of Empire. Ethan Whale has now started working for Empire. And N64 Fan still is a core member of Empire. Now, let's talk about Terminal. Squishy Umbreon left Terminal to work for a variety of groups. Thepin left the server. Cassius has left Terminal to work with Empire and start the Lactation Nation. Squalid has left MINETEXAS after the Citadel got destroyed. Someone in Space left the server after Empire came back. Dark Luigi is the last remaining member of Terminal. Rambam 2016 started working and has become a high-ranking member in Bookworms. And I'm Probably High left Terminal and has started working for other groups. Now, let's talk about what each group did well. Legion did well, becoming an established group, creating a small following of players, and survived for more than 3 months. Terminal created a trading economy, created a small following of players, and still survived after 5 months. Now let's talk about what each group did wrong. Legion wasn't organized enough, failed on their original goal, and did not create a large enough player base. Terminal wasn't committed enough to growing the group, started a war while being a trading group, and didn't focus enough on the trading economy. Now, who really won? Nobody really won this war because although Terminal had taken out some of Legion's bases, Legion was winning the PvP war. This conflict ended after both groups were knocked to their knees and Terminal surrendered. Some of the bases griefed in this video have now for the first time had their cords public. I'd strongly advise anyone, if they want to learn about more server history, to go out and fly out to these bases and just see what they were like. If any people are watching that haven't joined the server already, MINETEXAS server IP is anarchy.minetexas.com. Also in the description of this video will be a link to a new Discord, the content creators of MINETEXAS. This Discord will be a hub for all content creators to collaborate on new video ideas and other creative content. Goodbye.